grace, your grace shines on me. Your grace, your grace. I'm nothing without you. Grace, your grace shines on me. Oh yeah, shines on me. Shines on me. I'm everything with you. Shines on me. Shines on me. It's your grace. Shines on me. Your grace. Oh, your grace, it shines on me.
Hello, good evening, and my name is Augustine, and I'm here to give another live broadcast. And I wasn't able to give a live broadcast last week. The reason why I wasn't able to give live broadcast is because I was really engaged. I tried a number of times to come online to see if I could give a live broadcast, but I think I did have technical issues, more especially on Wednesdays and on Fridays. I had some technical issues, so I decided to leave it for last week and see how this week is going to be. Fortunately, my network is okay, is well, is stabilized, and I'm going to try as much as possible to give us a very brief live broadcast for the next 30 minutes. So please, for those of us that will be coming in and will have a look at my live broadcast, feel free to do subscribe, and you can also click on the notification bar by the right so that anytime I do have a broadcast, you can receive the notification and then watch my live video. Like I do, I try as much as possible to limit my time to 30 minutes. And today also, I'm going to limit my time to 30 minutes. So the topic of my live broadcast today is the depth of our foundation will determine our heights. Now, a very quick briefing so far within the TBC community. For those of us who are not yet active in the TBC community, I think real business has started. Now, I do discuss TBC with my friends and my colleagues. I wouldn't say I'm a full-time member in the TBC community. I'm actually a part-time member, and I'm corresponding or correlating or augmenting it. I think augmenting is the right word. I'm augmenting it with my work, my working activities. So I do see TBC as an off time, or when I'm outside work, I can attend to TBC as one of my other kinds of job. Aside that, I think I concentrate on my work. Now, the reason why I do concentrate on my work now is because TBC is still in its infancy or early stage. Now, with time, TBC will grow to become internationally recognized, and maybe by that time, TBC will become much more lucrative. And maybe I could choose to work with TBC on a 50-50 percentage ratio. That's to say, I could choose the times when I can come to work and choose the times when I can attend to TBC. Well, the future shall tell. Now, back to the topic of today. The depth of our foundation will determine the height of our building. Now, there are two things that we should know that are going on within the TBC community currently. The first one now is the merchant adoption phase. Actually, there are three things. The merchant adoption phase. Now, the second one is the massive growth campaign. Yes, the merchant adoption phase, the massive growth campaign, and the cash flow. These are the three things currently going on now within the TBC community. And you could choose to find yourself in any of them. But the bottom line is a good number of us within the TBC community are not doing anything. What we do is when we make investments and then we get um, a certain amount of money, we could pay our $10 and maybe we could purchase a range of TBC or Kringles. Now, let me actually make it more practical. Let me share my screen so that you would understand what I'm trying to say. All right, so first of all, let me begin with our blog. Now, I want to talk about the send button meeting that we just had. Now, the send button meeting we just had was handled by Randy Wilson, which is one of the leaders within the TBC community. Now, I believe these instructions, informations are self-explanatory. But I've said this before in my previous broadcast. I want to say it again. So please stay with me. Let me just quickly read this. Now, I may not read everything, but I'll read the ones that are relevant. Now, TBC leader Randy Wilson will be hosting the Send Button live broadcast on Monday, which is today. Now, if you do not have the Send Button meetings, you are not allowed. This is not what I wanted to talk about. It's the second one. Yes, this particular one. Now, first, I would like to bring some clarity to why admin and the type of blockchain we use are unknown. Now, one thing is sure. Before now, we were working on a platform that was built on Bitcoin. It's obvious we are not working with that kind of platform anymore. But we know it's not necessary trying to investigate what kind of platform we are working with now. That's not necessary. The bottom line is the admin remains unknown and our blockchain remains unknown. Now, the reason is what admin has made it clear that security is quite expensive. That's the reason why it's unknown. Now, another thing I would also want us to understand is that as we begin to grow within the TBC community, our technology will become much stronger. As we begin to grow within the TBC community, aside our technology becoming much stronger, we are going to have proper fortification. Now, when we have become properly fortified and TBC has started becoming liquid, I wouldn't say TBC is very liquid yet because admin has clearly said it. Now, as the community continues to grow, TBC will become much more liquid. Now, that's the more reason why I advise people. You see, TBC has come to the point where the system cannot crash. I've been saying this again and again and again. The system of TBC is an economy we are building. And as long as people are coming into the community and they are paying their $10, the value of TBC cannot go down. One. Two, we cannot run out of funds because $1 billion is a long way from now. And we are still in 3 million. Okay? So some of us are afraid that if we make investments, the admin will disappear. Some of us are afraid that if we make investments, we are going to lose at the long run or at the short run. I don't know what your fears are, really. Because for you to become a stakeholder within the TBC community, as at now, we are still in the billionaire phase. So there is room for you to get $100, $200, $500, $1,000, and all that and all that. So there is room for you to get as much as 5 TBCs, 10 TBC by purchasing $100 from someone. I am a TBC member, and I am fortunate to have at least reasonable numbers to help in building the TBC community. So you could also buy from me. I could also teach you on how to work with TBC, understand TBC, even if the system hasn't become very liquid. One thing is knowledge. Knowledge matters a lot. So many people do not understand TBC. The blog is too wide, and they don't know where to start from. Of course, it's not going to be for free. That's the reason why an academy is there, the Billion Coin Academy, where you learn about TBC. You can build your system on TBC. You can choose to become a full-time member or a part-time member. The choice is all yours. But one thing is sure, I can help you to understand what TBC is all about and how we are going to build our economy to get to a billion verified members. That's where we are going to. And that's what the admin wants to achieve right now. If you look into today's send button meeting, you'll see that admin wants to achieve it. So the bottom line on this particular paragraph I'm picking is this. The last line. As funds grow, so will our technology and admin structure. Now, I choose to say this, and what this statement I am making is subject to correction or verification at the long run, but it is likely, it is quite or very likely that as our technology grows and we become much more fortified, and our blockchain becomes much stronger and possibly becomes open and transparent, I don't know. The bottom line is when we get to that point, it could be that the admin may decide to see how responsible and committed members are within the TBC community. As at then, it would have become quite liquid. Yes, the TBC community would have become quite liquid. I mean, the TBC coins, where you can use it for exchange of goods and services to a reasonable extent, at least to 50%. And merchants would have accepted it and adopted it for different things. It is possible that the TBC admin fee of 4 grains of gold may not remain on 4 grains of gold again as at then. It could step up to maybe 8 grains of gold. Now, I know that there are so many people within the TBC community that have so many wallets. Yes. Now, those wallets could run into 5, some into 10. By the time the admin fee has been raised up to 10 grains of gold, and possibly another migration steps in, do you think it's going to be possible for these people to pay for all their wallets and migrate all their coins, even though it has become liquid by then? Well, I do not know. Bottom line I'm driving at is that as our community continues to grow and become much more fortified, there is a likelihood that our 4 grains of gold will not be 4 grains of gold again. It may remain or it may not remain. But one thing is sure, we are going there. Admin clearly said we are debt-free, we are self-regulated, and we are private. Okay, now this is the major thing that admin wants us to look into. What it takes to go full-time. Now, I do not know if I'm going to be a full-time member, because being a full-time member would mean a lot. I may be a part-time member in the TBC community, and I may still help in building the community the best way I can. Just make sure you work within your pace. Don't work beyond your scope or beyond your pace so that you don't break down. Okay? Now, this is where I want to pay more of my attention. This last place. I'll just talk about this and I'll go to the next thing I'll have to discuss about. Now, we currently have about 3,327,458 as at the time this blog was actually put up. As at now, we are much more than that. Now, I believe we will have at least 3. There's something about the admin which I've taken note of. Most of his numbers are always recurring. Now, when we get to 1 billion members, it will actually be 1,111,111,111. That is the numbers. Now, when we are 1 million billionaires, it's going to be 1,111,111. Now, he is actually saying, I really don't know why he chose to say it's 3,333,333. Well, I don't know. Now, let me read it out. I believe we will have at least 3,333,333 members by the time we hit our third anniversary. Now, if this is the case by then, now another question is, what if it is not the case by then? I don't know, but we are of the opinion and optimistic that between now and 21st of March 2019, we should have become 3,333,000. What's the difference between 333 million and 300 and, well, the difference is not so much. I think it's about 6,000. Yes, I think it's about 6,000. Well, let's see how it goes. Now, let's continue. If this is the case by then, I will roll out a weekly Bitcoin contest. Now, let me say something before I finish up on this particular paragraph. Let me open my Gringo Cash back office and explain some things to us. Now, let me start with this one. Now, this was a particular system that introduced the bring two and help those two to bring in two. The current system that we're running, this is the system we're running now. Now, what gave birth to this kind of system? That is, get two paid referrals and let those two help get two more to get 1.1 Gringos or 1.1 TBC. The outcome of this is what we are now seeing down here. Is what we are now seeing down here. Now, this is it. Now, all these ones that we are seeing down here, all these ones we are now seeing down here, starting from this. These are two people that were not able to bring two people. Now, let's see if we're able to get two people that brought two people. Okay, I don't think there was. Let's see for the next one. Okay, now this one was two people that brought in two people. Now this person is qualified to get 1.1 TBC, which we all know. Now, what gave birth to this concept? And it's now a system that has come into stay. Because I think the total number of people in the community now in this system about 5,840. Okay, now what gave rise to that system is this particular one. This is supposed to have been our third anniversary that we're supposed to do in South Africa, I think. We're supposed to do a cruise, but recently it was cancelled. Reason being that people within the TBC community were finding it difficult to get visa. Okay, now let's look at June, July, August, and September. So the June is this. Now, this person is Dan Ewa, which is one of the Nigerians. He's a friend, he's a mentor. I do know him to a reasonable extent. He was able to bring in 530 people. This is also one of the TBC leaders. He was able to bring in 269 people. The difference was quite much, or is quite much. Now, when admin looked at this system, he said, well, I think this is a good system. And these two people were given rewards. Now, let's go to the next one. The next one is July. July is 494. That was the winner for July. The next person was 146. Well, he looked at it and said, if June was successful and July was successful, then let's see how others will go. Now he went in for August. These are the smallest, 39, 39. Well, it's all good. They did well. The next one was September. September 118, which is Bederic and Favor Sonano. Wow. The two people, the first person was Dan Ewa, the second person was Favor Sonano, the both of them from Nigeria. Meaning that Nigerians are really contributing to the TBC community. And I think I applaud them for that. Now, the concept of what I'm driving at is that this was a system that was set out. And this system was productive and it gave birth to this system now that has come in, which is bring two and let two people bring two people. Meaning that the TBC community is growing gradually. But even though that they are growing gradually, we still need people to come in and purchase at least $100 so that the batch of getting 1 million billionaires is covered up or is completed. Right now, we do not know how many people that are yet to become billionaires. All you need to do is purchase $100 and then you become a billionaire within the TBC community. That is for sure. Now, for those of us that do not know, you could take time and look at it here. This is the 2019 promotion. When you click on this, you could take your time to read through. You could take your time and study it. The admin has said it already. This is where he said it. Now, he said, as January 2019 comes to quick close, we have converted the holiday promotion into the 2019 promo. As January 2019 comes to a quick close, meaning as January comes to an end, we are currently now in February. It has now been converted into a promotion for the 2019. Now, how long will this 2019 promotion last? Please listen to me. Let me finish this part. It will last until we fill all of the 1,111,111 billionaire positions at the top of the 10 by 9 matrix. Those of us that do not know about the matrix, let me show us about the matrix. Do pardon me. Let me see if it's this one. Oh, very good. I think it's this one. Now, this was when we were doing our TBC testers. But we're no more doing our TBC testers again. Okay? Well, I do not know what it will look like in the future. But this is a concept of what the admin said. If we clearly remember, he said when I will need to go back again. Okay, now this is it. This is where I was particularly concerned about. 1,111,100, and come to this place, you are going to see it here. When you sum up 1 plus 10 plus 100 plus 1,000 plus 10,000, 100,000, and a million, then we are going to get the 1 million billionaires. So everything is 1,111,111. On your own, you could take your time to read through. Okay? So these are the TBC billionaires. Now, when that part is over, a new part begins, which is the building of the TBC millionaires. The TBC millionaires are in 3 phases. And I think at this level, admin is going to probably carry out a migration. I am not 100% certain about this, but it could be probably true, so that the TBC billionaires will be consolidated. And a new batch with lower kringles will now take into place, maybe in the new wallet. So it will now remain 3 more levels within the wealth creation phase of TBC. Those of us that are here, what does it cost you now to become a TBC billionaire? All you need is to purchase $100. Like I have said, the TBC community is not going away very soon. By the time we have completed the last batch, then we are going to complete 1,111,111 111,111. Then these people are now going to use their Krengels to be able to lift humanity out of the morass of what? Poverty. Okay? Now, let me quickly go back to where I was, which is our send button meeting for today. Now, admin wants to create a ripple effect. That's exactly what he wants to do. Like he did in the like he did in this um, um, what do you call it? The cruise contest. He wants to replicate it now. But you see, this system he's going to do is going to be an explosive one. I will explain why. Let me explain. He said, if this is the case, I will roll out a weekly Bitcoin contest. It is the weekly Bitcoin contest that is going to cause the exponential growth within the TBC community. And I believe that Nigeria will play a major role. Now, the full timer that has sponsored the most paid signups in a week will win 200 grains of Bitcoin. Now, 200 grains of Bitcoin is actually $500. Okay. Now, and he will be recognized, he or she will be recognized in the send button meetings that week and receive that Bitcoin live during the send button meeting, meaning that when the person is on the live broadcast and he comes online, he will be hosted because it will be clear. Randy Wilson will host him and he's going to send his wallet address to Randy Wilson, and then the money will be paid directly into his account, and the world will see that the admin is serious about this business. But the funny thing is that he's only going to award one person at a time. So if there are 10 people that are building the community, the person who builds more or brings in more people is the one that gets the award for that day. So let's continue the reading. Now, we are currently growing by 100 to 200 paid signups a day right now. Once we double the speed of growth,